So good morning everyone and welcome to our Lugo Service Level and Price Increase webinar. I'm Liz Smith, Business Development Director at Lugo, and I'll be your host today. Before we get started, I'd like to thank everyone for taking the time to attend this morning. We know you're busy, so we appreciate you being here. I'm just going to start covering off some housekeeping. So our presentation will last around half an hour, and then we'll open it up for questions for the remaining 15 minutes. Please use the Q&A feature within Teams and we'll answer as many questions as we can live at the end. We won't be sharing any of the slides because we're going to be sharing a link to a recorded version of this webinar. So that'll be getting sent out to anyone that was invited along to attend today's session. I appreciate some people are still enjoying their holidays. I'm delighted to be joined by our entire account management team today. Please reach out after today's session if you have any individual questions. If you're unsure who your account manager is, please drop me an email and I shall let you know. So Lugo was formed by Ron back in 2003. Back then, our client sites typically consisted of a single physical server connected to a handful of desktop PCs, with maybe one PC having access to a very slow dial-up internet connection. We backed up nightly to huge tapes, which had to be taken home in your handbag, and that ensured that we had an off-site backup. Some things remain constant. Ron set up Lugo on his own with a handful of accountancy firms as clients, having faith in his vision. Just look at that determined look on his face. I'm so pleased that all those firms still remain Lugo clients today. We have grown by an average of one new team member per year over the last 20 years. This photo was taken last September at our annual away weekend. Our team is dedicated to supporting your business and helping you achieve your goals by making the most of our IT partnership. So thankfully, the way we work has evolved significantly over the last 20 years, thanks to rapid advancement of technology, including super fast broadband, 5G, and cloud backup services. Some of the most notable changes being the growth of mobile devices, which has transformed the way businesses communicate and collaborate. So your team can now access their work emails, calendars, and files from their laptops, smartphones, and tablets. The rise of cloud computing has made it possible for businesses to access their data and applications from anywhere. This has led to a more mobile workforce and a more flexible way of working. The growth of collaboration tools has made it easier for people to connect and collaborate with each other, regardless of their location. This has led to a more distributed and collaborative workforce, with people able to work from almost anywhere. A fundal transformation that has been well underway for a while now, and the global pandemic put all of us on an accelerated path and brought many of the toughest challenges right to the surface. The traditional network and security perimeter model has disappeared as where we work has evolved to a mix of locations and models. No matter where workers are, access to a variety of tools on-premise or in the cloud is essential to be able to easily collaborate with partners, employees, and customers. And on top of this, organisations are dealing with an increasing volume and sophistication of threats. As you become more reliant on technology, security has become increasingly important. Businesses need to take steps to protect their data from cyber attacks. And I'd like to hand you over to Amanda.
Morning everyone, I am Amanda Johnston and a client account manager at Lugo. Let's look at the ways in which Lugo are raising the bar. Zero Trust is a security strategy. It's not a product or a service, but an approach in designing and implementing a set of security principles. The Zero Trust approach considers three key principles, these being: number one, verify explicitly. This is a complete change in mindset from assuming someone should have access to explicitly verifying they have authority to access corporate information. Always authenticate and authorize based on all available data points, including user identity and location. Number 2, use least privileged access. Adopt a policy-based, least privileged access model. Limit user access with just-in-time and just enough access to help secure both data and productivity. Number 3, assume breach. Using zero trust principles, we design with the assumption that every element of your system can be breached. Minimize the blast radius and segment access. We should drive business agility with a zero trust approach to security. Our Lugo standard is built on the foundation of zero trust. To begin your zero trust journey, it's important to set a strong foundation, starting with modern identity and endpoint management. Identity-based attacks such as password breaches are still one of the most common attack vectors, with 80% of breaches involving the use of lost or stolen passwords. And now, with your team being dispersed across different locations and using a variety of devices, unsecured devices are putting your data at risk. 60% of bring your own devices today are unsecured by IT. With modernizing your identity and endpoint management, you can build a strong zero trust foundation. Passwords are still the weakest link in the security chain and a single point of failure without any additional verification. This slide demonstrates how long it would take a hacker to crack your password. There should be no sharing of accounts, as this increases the risk. No one should know your passwords, and you should only ever log in as yourself with a strong password and authentication. Imagine if one of your colleagues were to leave the organisation but knew your credentials. What if they were a disgruntled ex-employee? What if they sold your credentials on the dark web? Basic password security includes: do not use a password that is the same or similar to one you have used on any other websites. Do not use a single password, for example, password, or a commonly used phrase. Do not use the names and birthdays of your friends and family. Passwords should have a minimum of at least 12 characters, and it is suggested we use 3 random words, a passphrase, including upper and lowercase, special characters, and numbers. Multi-factor authentication is free and should be used as a minimum security measure. It is also strongly recommended that you use an authenticator app rather than text message. But as with all things technology, things are moving forward. It's now recommended that passwords are eliminated entirely and replaced with stronger authentication methods. These include Windows Hello, which is a biometric sign-in, such as facial or fingerprint recognition, an authenticator app, or a security key. Security keys are typically USB devices that handle authentication. We are now setting Cyber Essential as the bar we want to achieve with all of our clients. Cyber Essentials is an information assurance scheme operated by the National Cyber Security Centre that helps organisations to protect themselves against online threats. The government collaborated with the Information Assurance for Small and Medium Enterprises and the Information Security Forum to create a set of technical controls to help organisations protect themselves against online security threats. This is a simple but effective government-backed scheme which helps you protect your organisation, whatever its size, against the most common cyber attacks. Cyber attacks come in many shapes and sizes, and by taking our advice, you are more likely to prevent these attacks. We will support you through this journey and help you familiarise yourself with cyber terminology. You can go for the entry-level Cyber Essentials certification, which is self-certifying, or for those who want to take cybersecurity even further, you can opt for the more comprehensive Cyber Essentials Plus certification, which includes an external audit. The foundations for Cyber Essentials will be required for cyber insurance. In the past, cyber insurance was included in professional indemnity insurance, but this is no longer the case. This is because cyber risks have become more complex and expensive to cover. As a result, businesses now need to purchase separate cyber insurance policies. Cyber insurance can help cover the cost of a data breach or cyber attack, including legal fees, restoration costs, and compensation to customers. It can also provide access to instant response services. Being compliant with Cyber Essentials can help you to reduce the likelihood of a data breach, but it does not guarantee that one will not occur. Stephen will discuss in further detail the elements of our support package, which helps lessen cyber breaches. Cyber insurance can help to mitigate the financial impact of a breach, even if it's not caused by a breach of cyber essential controls. Organisations that achieve Cyber Essentials certification can opt in to receive cyber insurance if their annual turnover is under £20 million. The insurance provided with certification gives you £25,000 limit of indemnity, so you may want to purchase a higher limit of cover in case you suffer a severe breach. Cyber insurance is not a silver bullet, but it can be an important part of comprehensive cyber security strategy. Businesses should work with an insurance broker to find a policy that meets their specific needs. Microsoft Secure Score is a measurement of an organization's security posture. Following the Secure Score recommendations provides an additional layer of security protection. Lugo will support you to improve your secure score by reporting on the current state of your organization's security posture, improving your security posture by providing discoverability, visibility, guidance, and control, and comparing benchmarks and establishing key performance indicators. I will now hand over to my colleague, Stephen Maguire.
Thanks, Amanda. My name's Stephen Maguire and I'm the Business Development Lead for Housing Associations at Lugo. Hate to say it, but I've got 20 years on run when it comes to old tech, but now's probably not the time to discuss that. First, I'd like to talk to you about the Lugo's customer services team, which consists of 3 main departments. We have the help desk. The client experience team is your first line of contact for support when contacting us in the help desk. In effect, our first line team. And they provide support and fixes for the majority of our day-to-day issues. Technical services, I would call that our second line team. They help to provide additional support for those issues that are just that wee bit more complex and look like they will need more time to resolve. We have a third tier in the help desk team, which is your senior feature support analysts. They provide a highly experienced system engineers team, providing top tier support for the previous 2 layers, often having direct contact with vendors and work closely with the professional services team as well. And talking of the professional services team, they provide network design, configuration and installation of upgrades, data migrations and such like, and also project management. Also available is support that requires support at the highest level. Regarding our account management team, we've got a very strong experienced team providing account management, including business reviews, IT strategy and advice, and also an escalation point should you need that bit extra help. And also the main point of contact for sales inquiries, proposals and quotations. Regarding our strategic account management, at Lugo we provide strategic account management where we can use our knowledge and experience in the IT industry to help provide you with the best levels of account support and advice possible. We can help you formulate strategic goals for your organisation through our strategy meetings. We're also aware of innovations in our sector and advances in IT technology that can make a huge difference to your business efficiency while securing your data. All of our managed services clients have access to a staff training video portal. This is a really useful resource for staff refresher training on commonly used products such as Word, Excel, etc. Also, it's a great resource for accessing bite-sized cybersecurity training videos. These help to keep your staff safe and working inside and outside of your network, and are full of useful do's and don'ts when you're working outside of the office. We also have an internal managed education and development program for our team to ensure providing you with the most up-to-date advice and can support you to the very highest levels. Last but not least, vendor relationships are very important. For our accountancy clients, as well as being key stakeholders in the SAGE and CCH user groups, we're also on the editorial team for the ICAS technical bulletin. We've built up good relationships with many other software vendors to facilitate a joined-up approach to project work and ticket resolutions. We take ownership of any incidents involving third parties and work through it to a conclusion. Our housing association clients will also be happy to know that we're also active members of the Scottish Federation of Housing Associations and have solid working relationships with most of the housing management system providers. Just as important, though, is our close working relationship and partnerships with manufacturers such as Dell, Microsoft, Sonic Wall and Gamma. We get first-hand insights to new and emerging technology from these suppliers that's really helpful when discussing replacement systems and advising you on the best technology for your money. We like to think that your partnership with Lugo gives you access to a really comprehensive and well-tried range of IT security and communication technologies. Our user-centric approach and wide industry supplier knowledge means that we can provide our clients with a truly holistic approach to their technology and support needs. Right now, I'm going to cover some of the technologies we provide you as a service, showing you that there's a lot going on in the background to keep you safe in your daily operations. The Microsoft 365 Business Premium subscription is our go-to subscription with lots of security features. This is where a lot of your security is configured, such as MFA, Intune for your mobile devices, conditional access, probably too much to cover here just now. We also provide next-generation antivirus called Endpoint Detect and Respond. This responds to threats almost immediately in near real time using machine learning and artificial intelligence. No waiting for signature updates, and we're able to roll back attacks by replacing infected files with pre-attack versions quickly. DNS protection is a first-line defense against internet source threats such as malware, ransomware, and phishing. Internet traffic is routed through a proxy service that's populated with constantly updated unsafe internet domain names, as are requested file downloads that are also scanned. This helps protect remote working users in particular when they're working out with the office network and firewall on laptops, for example. Finally, did you know that Microsoft recommends using a third-party backup product to protect your 365 environment? We provide a solution that does just that. 3 times a day, we back up your entire Microsoft 365 tenancy, including SharePoint, mailboxes, OneDrive, and Teams. This helps to protect you against accidental or malicious deletion, ransomware attacks, and other cloud data loss. We can quickly restore or export data from a specific point in time before a data loss event occurred, for example, before a ransomware infection occurred. This is very important. As a solutions partner for modern work, at Lugo we've demonstrated our broad capability to help customers boost their productivity, cybersecurity, and make the shift to full cloud and hybrid work by using Microsoft 365. Microsoft has identified Lugo as a partner that has both the commitment to training, accreditation, and has delivered verifiable solutions that are leading to our customers' success. Our support team have successfully been certified in a range of intermediate and advanced level Microsoft qualifications, including Azure Security and Microsoft 365. And this is a requirement for the Microsoft Solutions certification. Silver and gold competencies are no more. Microsoft Solution Partner must now commit and demonstrate a lot more than before to maintain their accreditation. And becoming a solutions partner for modern work gives our customers a way to identify Lugo is a partner who has the commitment to training and accreditation. You've got access to expert and certified support provided by an up-to-date team that meets rigorous standards set by Microsoft. Expertise in the deployment, configuration and ongoing support of your Microsoft 365 Business Premium subscription, including the many security features that are included. We are experienced practitioners in the migration of your on-site servers and data to the Microsoft environment. I'd now like to talk about Lugo Assurance. Now, Amanda mentioned Cyber Essentials earlier, and Lugo are proud to be Cyber Essentials Plus certified. Cyber Essentials Plus is based on the same technical requirements as Cyber Essentials and starts with the Cyber Essentials Verified Assessment Questionnaire. The difference is that Cyber Essentials Plus also includes an external technical audit of our IT systems to verify that the controls are in place. An external assessor, for example, tests and verifies that the technical controls we have in place by simulating basic hacking and phishing attacks and by carrying out penetration tests. This means you, as your customer, you can be safe in the knowledge that Lugo's internal systems, our staff's hardware systems and our client record systems are secure to the exacting standards required of Cyber Essentials Plus. Quality control. Lugo is currently working towards internationally recognised ISO 9001 standards. This means that we work within strict quality control guidelines when operating our business. Written procedures are required for all aspects of the business, including help desk, sales, process, project works, and more. This ensures the quality of transactions with their clients and suppliers are monitored, reviewed, and changes and training applied when required. Finally, recently released advisory from the National Cyber Security Centre is a cyber assessment framework. Lugo will be training staff as cyber advisors that will be at your disposal to provide best advice and strategy for the safekeeping of your IT systems from cyber threats. Thanks very much, and over to you, Ron.
Thanks, Stephen. That's great. Yeah, so I'm Ron Weatherup. I think, as Liz said, I founded Lugo 20 years ago in 2003. So we've been going some time now, and I got nominated to talk about the elephant in the room about the pending price rise that we have. So I suppose we wanted to tackle this head on and be as plain as possible. We're trying to be as clear with our clients, and ultimately, like it has been said through the presentation, we see it very much as a partnership. So hopefully this slide's clear. I'll just talk you through it. So in the purple box, we've got prices for new clients, and in the blue box we have prices for existing clients. You'll see that there's two packages within each box, which are the same. So there's a secure cloud package and a secure hybrid package. So if I could just draw your attention to the blue box, and I'll talk through that. So for people that are, or clients that are on the secure cloud package, they'll be on £70 per user per month at the minute, and they'll be going up to £85 on the 1st of December. And likewise, if you're on our secure hybrid package, the main difference between the cloud and the hybrid package means you'll have on-premise equipment still. So you've opted for a server, and the main difference between the two packages is that we back up that on-premise equipment, and we need software and services in order to be able to do that. So we haven't been very good at putting our prices up in the past, and that's why we thought it was worthwhile running this webinar just to explain what it's about and what you get. We're going to try and get annual price rises out to you, make them more regular so that it's much easier for you to budget for them in the future. We'll announce them in plenty of time. Like I say, at the minute we're in August and this price rise is effective from the 1st of December, so you won't see this till your invoice at the end of November. So like I say, we'll try and get them out in plenty of advance. We came to the realization that we needed to increase our prices. We realized by not doing this that it actually restricted and constrained the support that we can deliver, and it wasn't a level that we desired. You've seen from Amanda's and Stephen's slides that it's not just service that's included. There's lots of products and lots of renewals in there. So we take care of your antivirus endpoint detection response renewals, your backup renewals, your Microsoft renewals. So we take care of all that administration in the background as well. And there's lots of reasons behind the price rise, but we're obviously, like everyone else, seeing a lot of pressure in terms of salaries. The IT market is very competitive, and the global market's putting a particular strain in Scotland, and we generally like to employ locally. So yeah, we're getting a lot of pressure there. I'm sure users seeing this as well. But it's not just salaries. The products themselves that are included in the package. Stephen mentioned Microsoft 365 as one of them. That's actually, believe it or not, like-for-like packages increased 44% in the last 18 months. And obviously we try and keep this to a minimum for you. But this is what's going on. I mean, Microsoft that was the 44% price increase from them was due to both a price rise and a foreign currency alignment, obviously being an American company and the pound not as strong as it used to be. I suppose one thing we get asked whenever we're speaking to existing clients and they're looking at the new client price is when will our price be the same as the new client price? Ultimately, we need to align these, and the landscape's always changing, so we don't know exactly when, but we imagine in the next 18 to 36 months we'll align these prices along with annual price rises between the two. The reason we put the new client price higher than the existing price was to restrict the intake of clients so that we could concentrate more on the services that we provide to our existing clients. So I just want to go a little bit into the evolution of IT. Like Liz says, you know, the IT environment isn't what it was 20 years ago. I'm certainly not wearing the shirts I was 20 years ago. And Liz wasn't wrong. It definitely changed. I remember it was often quicker to drive to site to fix issues than it was to connect in over a 56K modem. And I know today I still actually prefer going on site to see people face to face. At the very beginning, whenever we started, one of the biggest demands we had from people was, we just need things to work in our office and be robust so that our staff can be productive. And this evolved over time. Eventually, we needed to, you know, protect devices like PCs that were sitting on our desktops from viruses that might come in through a floppy disk drive or a USB stick. We used perimeter-based firewalls to protect us whenever the internet and threats from there became more prevalent. Obviously, with the increase of internet and mobile devices now, everyone wanted everything to work from everywhere, and you know, the new workforce coming in wanted more flexible working, and obviously the pandemic's really brought this to a head. So we're now faced with the challenge of everything working from everywhere, but trying to do that in a secure way. And this is why we're seeing the move towards zero trust deployments, where we assume a breach at all times. Why should we move towards a zero trust deployment? Well, there's obviously, you'll see in the news, there's more phishing, more ransomware, and more bad actors than ever before. To be honest, we only see this, unfortunately, getting worse with the rise of AI and the better techniques that these bad actors can employ. One of the most important things, like Amanda said, you can do to secure your environment is know what you have in terms of people, so that we can secure their identities, peripherals, and endpoints, so that we can secure them down, and where your data is. We need to, and then once you know what you've got, try and minimize this as much as possible, because the less you have, the easier it is to protect. A great place to start with this, like Amanda says, is Cyber Essentials or Cyber Essentials Plus. If you don't already have it, then please reach out and we can explain the benefits and have a chat. We can see a point in the future where probably, and it's already encouraged, that if you're a business that has Cyber Essentials, you should potentially only deal with suppliers that have a similar or equivalent certificate. And this really helps when it comes to combating supply chain attacks, which is where we're seeing a lot of threats at the minute. Like we said previously, Lugo hold the Cyber Essentials Plus certification, and as Stephen said, working towards our ISO 9001 this year. We think this is the right thing to do as a supplier of for you. We think we should stay secure in order to keep you secure. We also see a lot of pressure from our insurance supplier, and no doubt you'll have seen your premiums increase. The insurance industry is beginning to understand the cyber landscape better and the risks involved, obviously. Like I said, our premiums have went up a colossal amount, and I'm sure you're seeing the same. But like Amanda says, not only are the premiums going up, but the list of exclusions seems to get longer, and they're actually covering less. In today's world, Lugo are definitely a big advocate and recommend that you have cyber insurance in place. It's not a case of if a breach will happen, but when it'll happen, and we'd like to help you prepare for that. Lots of insurance companies with their cyber insurance covers include an incident response team, which is a great way to go to help you deal and communicate and understand what needs done in the event of a breach. And remember, it's often whenever we're thinking about a breach, we often think it's external. It was only a couple of days ago that the Police Service Northern Ireland, PSNI, had an email breach, and it was an internal employee that just emailed lots of data out to the wrong people. The last thing I need to mention is probably where we see things going. There's no doubt in our mind that regulation is coming to IT providers or IT solution providers, and we think this will come through Cyber Essentials or the Cyber Assessment Framework, and that's why we actively align with these standards where and when it's possible. So just to delve a little bit into the service, this is obviously very important and it's very personal to me. It's something that we really think is important to Lugo, and we put a lot of emphasis on it. Most of our clients sometimes think all Lugo is a help desk. Hopefully we've demonstrated that we're more than that, but there's no doubt that the help desk is a large part of what we do. The help desk itself makes up 50% of the Lugo staff. We run a service desk where it's not just faults that are logged. We actively monitor systems with remote monitoring, and we proactively fix these where possible. But our help desk also manage service requests. So whenever clients contact their help desk, they can log both incidents and service requests. And you might not know, but one of the first things we do is we assess if it's an incident or a service request where it's maybe just a software update, so that we can get to the root and fix problems before we work on things that are changes to your system. So yeah, the service is important, and we want to make sure it's always as good as it can be. In our industry, there's lots of IT solution providers with lots of benchmarking and key performance indicators. And one that they often look at in our industry is the amount of users or devices that are supported by a tech on the help desk. And lots of IT providers aspire to look after 300 devices or users, whereas Lugo's ratio tends to sit around 150 users, so half of that industry average. And that's because we've seen in the past, and definitely over the last 3 years, we've went over 150 users per tech, and we can see that that definitely impacts our service. And we don't want to do that. We don't want our service to suffer just for a little bit of extra profit. It doesn't make sense. We'd rather make sure our clients are looked after properly. Another area we're looking to build on, which Stephen touched on, is our account management team, and make sure you have the best of it attention. They'll help professional services manage your projects and communication and keep those partnerships real. We want to continue to provide the same great service we have for the last 20 years, and it's important that we work with you to achieve this. We can't do it on our own. It's a two-way relationship. Ultimately, we wouldn't be here without you. Going forward, we can plan to stay transparent about our pricing. Liz was a big advocate of getting it up on the website. We did that years and years ago, which very few service providers do. We feel like Lugo is a bit of a community, and we provide the service based on a level across all of our clients, and then provide the same service. That's one of the reasons we don't want to discount new clients to bring them on. we actually really care about servicing our existing clients. We really value the partnership that we have, and we want to keep providing that great service to you. That's all from me. Over to you, Liz.
Thanks, Ron. So now we'd like to open up the floor for questions. So please type your questions into the Q&A feature if you have any, and we will do our best to answer as many of them as we can live. If there's something that you'd like to speak to us about individually, then we're all very accessible, so please reach out to your account manager and we can arrange an individual catch-up. So let's see, do we have anything in the Q&A area? So you should have a Q&A button along the top, so you can click on there and then it'll open up a panel and you can post any questions in there. We'll see if anyone has any questions. Maybe everybody's bamboozled. So much information in such a short space of time.
I know, sorry, I spoke too fast. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
You'll get the recording, you can rewind if you really want to listen to me again.
Again. Okay, no questions in there, so we'll move on at this point in time. Oh, we have a new one potentially. Ben, thank you, Ben. Thank you for your presentation, very informative. Roughly what is the split in the price per user for products and service? So in our entire package, it's very complex. There is, I don't know, Ron probably knows the numbers better than me, but there's lots and lots of elements. But what we're finding is the amount of time that it's taken to manage those products is just ever increasing because of the complexity of the systems that we're managing for you now. So there's so much more time in that package than there ever has been before. And I think what we've been guilty of in the past is we've only really ever put up our prices if there's been a product price increase, and then we've passed an element of that on to you. However, we've now realised that we can't continue to do that without increasing your price based on the amount of time it's taken us to manage. I don't know if Ron wants to add to that at all.
Yeah, it's probably, I can go a little bit deeper into the figures in terms of the support. So just to give you an idea and a bit of a background in terms of where it comes from, and like I say, there'll be months that we take less calls from a particular client and months that we take more calls from another client. With the increase of cyber threats and with clients taking it more seriously, if I take you way back to whenever we first started Lugo, in the industry, it was seen that your average ticket would take on, so your average user would take on average 15 minutes per month per user, and that worked out at 1 ticket per user as well. We're generally not too far away from, on average, 1 ticket per user. At the beginning of Lugo, when 50 minutes was industry standard, actually clients that required a higher service level, you could see that go up to 30 or 40 minutes per user. And that's generally because whenever we are counting those figures, we don't just look at the support, we take into consideration the whole account management piece, where we're helping you get through things like Cyber Essentials and improve your security posture, whereas lots of other people in the industry just look at the support side of it, so that they just look at that incident resolution. They're not necessarily looking at the proactive monitoring or the service requests where, for example, Lugo do the software updates and things for you as well. What we've seen recently is where a client is taking security much more seriously, and there's a lot more of administration involved in terms of keeping fixed asset registers up to date, making sure clients are secure. Multi-factor authentication is another complexity we put in there. What we're now seeing is that some clients are going up to nearly an hour per user per month on average, which is a significant increase. So that's what we're combating at the minute. What we haven't quite managed to figure out, which is an interesting one, and it's difficult to do with all clients doing slightly different things. Some clients, believe it or not, are back in the office 5 days a week. We've got some clients that are down to a 4-day week, and some clients are obviously in this hybrid environment. What we haven't managed to do since COVID is see exactly where the increase in time, has it come from less ability to communicate within an office environment, or is it just because of the increased security threat? But ultimately, because of the environment we're in and where we are now, the security is definitely a bigger impact and more on more a part of that package. So hopefully that explains. But I mean, we could do a breakdown. Liz does a breakdown of what's included in the package and what you get in terms of the backup products, Microsoft 365. We've not been shy about these things. We tend to try and build them into the package so that there's less decision making for you to do. One thing I didn't mention in the presentation, we're on the lookout for a product at the minute that will help our clients achieve zero trust in a more timely manner, because that's believe it or not, you couldn't believe how difficult it is for some clients to know where they have laptops or desktops, or who's using a home PC or a tablet to connect in to get email and different things like that there. So those are really, really difficult challenges for some clients where they just don't know what PCs they've got or who's got them. Sorry, hopefully that was a pretty complicated answer, but hopefully we get there. But if you need more of a breakdown, then please reach out to us.
Thanks, Ben. So we don't have any other questions popping in at the moment, but please do reach out to us. So your next step, so regardless of how established your risk process is and the accountability for cyber risk lies with your leadership team, even when cyber aspects are outsourced to us here at Lugo. Good cybersecurity has to work for your organisation. That has to be appropriate to your systems, to your processes, to your people, your culture, and critically, it has to be appropriate for the level of risk that you are willing to accept. Which is why ultimately cybersecurity is a board level responsibility. We're here to help ensure that cyber resilience and risk management are embedded throughout your organisation, including its people, systems, processes and technologies. So who is best placed in your organisation to work on that overall cybersecurity strength and resilience? Who are the key stakeholders? We will do all that we can to support you from a cybersecurity and technology perspective. We really do value your partnership, so please reach out to your Lugo account manager to put a strategy meeting in the diary with key stakeholders. Don't hesitate to reach out after today's session if you have any individual questions. Our details are all on the screen there. And as I said before, if you don't know who your account manager is, just give me a shout and I can let you know. But above all, we want to enable you to make the most of the benefits robust secure IT can bring to your organisation. As your trusted IT partner, we take time to understand your business. We're here to support you with Lugo Love to ensure you can focus on running your business. If you have any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to get in touch. Thank you again for attending today. We really appreciate your continued custom and hope our partnership continues for many years. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Liz. Thanks everyone for attending.
Thank you.